9 times the speed of sound. Roger.
What's up guys, my name is Emil and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be nice, short and sweet, and we're going to be fixing stuff on my Mercedes GL 320 X164 platform. I've had this truck for a couple of years, and even though Hoovy's Garage calls it, what was it, the worst truck ever built or something like that, I'm gonna have to offer a counter argument. I think this is about the best truck I've ever had. It is super comfortable, loaded with features, dirt cheap now that it's about 10 years old, and I absolutely love it. This thing has got 320,000 kilometers on it, and it just, I mean, the engine runs like it's brand new. There's really there's no serious issues with it. So what are we fixing today? Is it the cracked bumper? No. Are we fixing the struts that don't hold the hood up? Nope. No, we're not. Are we fixing the rust that's starting to come up on the body? Nope. No, we're not. Are we fixing the broken rear windshield wiper? Nope. Not that. Are we fixing the cracked windshield that is starting to come apart? No, not that. Maybe we're fixing the rear view mirror here that's lost the cover, I think, and has started to get messed up. No, that's not it. Maybe we're fixing the sagging rear suspension. Not yet, but in another episode. Are we possibly fixing the oil leak coming somewhere in the engine that makes it lose oil all the time? No guys, today we are fixing the accessory belt, which my truck must have been quite hungry because it ate, as in shredded. I have no clue. Well, I have a clue, but I've personally never really seen this. So this is actually quite entertaining to pull out of the motor. Now, in all honesty, there was a bit of a noise coming out of the belt for a long time. I've had the truck for about 2 years. I think it's always been there. I always kind of assumed that this is gonna happen. I'm just gonna fix it when it does. But the interesting part is that if you can tell, the belt, it looks like it was actually melted from the back. Right there. See? The front is actually pretty decent, but the back's completely fallen apart. But the interesting part is that the two idler pulleys and the tensioner pulley do not actually have, they spin. I would have thought that this is one of them seized up and just wore the belt out. But no, they spin fine. But regardless of that, I bought all two pulleys and the tensioner, and we're gonna go ahead and swap them today. And in the meantime, we're gonna try and possibly figure out why, and I don't know if you can see that, there's so much oil all the way over the front of the engine. So I've got oil down there, I've got oil down there, I've got oil everywhere. So we're gonna replace the belt, we're gonna replace the two pulleys, we're gonna get the truck back on the road. Right, let's do it. First things first, because the struts are broken and this hood weighs about 1 billion pounds, we have to use, oh my god, I need a third hand here. We have to use my trusted snow brush, and we're gonna put that right about there. There, no, there. Ugh. So I have to fix these stupid struts. If anybody has a part number, please, by all means, throw it at me. Okay, now the job itself is fairly straightforward. It's a little tight down here, but you still have quite a bit of space between the rad and the belt. The only real thing you got to worry about is the turbo resonator. This piece. This guy. Which sits right in front of the belt and basically hooks up to the aluminum pipe here. So at the bottom of this pipe right there sits this piece, and then this hooks up to the hose right there. Now, I mentioned I have an oil leak of some sorts, and usually before when I've checked it out, I've always traced it to the back of the engine, which could actually still be an active oil leak. I'm not 100% sure. These things have the two oil cooler seals right on top of the V underneath all of this mess that tend to leak, and this thing is at 320,000 kilometers. So I'm going to take a wild guess that they are, if they're original, they're definitely leaking. But the one thing I wasn't ready for is the fact that actually oil has been leaking somewhere around here. As you can see, this is extremely dirty, very oily. And when I took it apart, I noticed that the oil ring that's supposed to sit right there and actually seal the plastic resonator to the aluminum pipe here is actually not there. So what that means is that when the turbo, so let's just take a look at the system here. Here you've got your crankcase ventilation coming through here into the turbo inlet, and then out the air gets pressurized. So all of the oil mist that gets there into the turbo actually comes out here. Usually that stuff accumulates in your intercooler. So here, like if you ever open the holes on the side of the tank here, like you're gonna have oil kind of, you know, coming out. That's usually completely normal. That's just how it works. But the problem is, without this oil ring here, the air, the oily air comes through here, doesn't seal very well, and then all of the whatever air comes out is actually pushing oil out onto the pipe. So you can see all of that oil is being actively coming out. So this is very dirty. Now I cannot guarantee that this is all of the oil, that this is the cause for all the oil, because on this side, so that's down there, right? So this is kind of to the right of the crank pulley, which is right there. But on the left here, right down there, I've got a very, very dirty coolant flange right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I think that's got a lot to do, judging from like what's above it. We've got the vacuum pump, which is right there, and that throttle body, which is right there, and both of them have gaskets. So you've got a gasket there and you got a gasket on the throttle body. Now I wasn't able to get them this time around, but I'm looking at them and it seems like there's quite a bit of oil all over the place, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the seals now, and I picked them up. So I've got the green seals go on the intercooler pipe right there. So there's one there and there's one on this side. And then the black seal, this guy, goes around here. So I'm very curious. This must have been taken apart before, because, you know, I thought I dropped the seal. The seal was just not there. It was not on the pipe. It's not on the aluminum pipe. It's got nowhere. It's nowhere to be found. So it was definitely not there. And judging from all the oil, whoever just put this back together just forgot about it. So what we're doing now, we'll take the tensioner out. We'll take the two pulleys out. We'll put in the new parts. Two pulleys, tensioner, new belt. We're gonna get the pipe cleaned up, new O-ring, put everything back together, and we're good to go. So this is what I was talking about, guys. Like, it's very, very dirty in the front here, and it looks like, I mean, judging from this, that it was all kind of coming from that pipe, the missing ring there. But I mean, everything is just kind of showered in oil here. Not really sure how much I can clean this up, short of start taking pipes off and, you know, getting more access here. But I'm going to try and wipe it down, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that once I replace that seal, we don't have any more leaking coming from this. Hopefully if we have if we still have an oil leak, it'll be easier to spot coming up in the future, because now I'm going to replace the 3 seals. So like I said, the only real thing on the side is here the vacuum pump and the throttle body, and there's 2 gaskets there that may be also leaking. If we're not very lucky, it might also be the front crank seal, but I don't seem to have any indication for that right now. So we're not going to worry about that. Let's put the belt back on. So 2 pulleys back on, tensioner on, belt, release the tensioner, and we're just going to put the silencer back with the new sealing rings. Call it a day. All right. That's all for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you saw, thumbs up. If you want to see more about the X164, the GL 320 behind me, click subscribe. In the next episode, I'm actually going to tackle the sagging rear suspension. So I've got 2 new airbags ordered already. And in this summer, actually what I'm going to be doing is trying to fix all of the issues that I've got with it. As you saw, cracked front bumper, cracked windshield, the rear wiper's not working, quite a few other things, plus a bunch of oil leaks in the motor. So by all means, if you're interested, click subscribe, click the bell icon so you can get the notifications for this, and I will see you next time.